listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show. I'm Jason.
And I'm Patricia. Tune in every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio.
We discovered that human potential is severely limited when you program humans like a machine, which is standard practice today for self-improvement.
The Ecosystem Approach teaches you how to uncover your infinite potential by using natural methods that are truly revolutionary. Join us now for the Ecosystem Approach Show. As we continue to channel and speak with Bashar, Abraham, and Seth, plus Eleanor, one of the major issues is about personal evolution here on Earth and whether the ideas and instructions could be followed. Was it a mistake? Also, we're going to talk about some of the amazing ideas that the Alliance is considering next.
I'm just really excited about that.
Me too. Have you ever heard of solar panels for humans? Me either, by the way. We'll talk about that in the last segment. All right, Jason, let's give everyone an update on what's happening.
So a lot of things are happening. We've been calling Bashar, Abraham, and Seth, and Eleanor base.
Yes.
And it's just easier for us because
it is.
We don't, we talk about them all the time and they talk to us all the time.
Yes, they do.
But now we have a name that's easy instead of saying Bashar Abraham. So if we say base, that's what we're talking about. And,
exactly.
And we use the E for Eleanor, so to include her.
Well, let's talk about Eleanor for just a minute. Do you mind?
Oh my gosh, she is so chatty. She is so flirty. She is always flirting with me, and she likes him. She has a big sense of humor.
True, very, very true.
And she gets dirty jokes. She tells dirty jokes. Oh my gosh!
And by the way, remember, I don't know if you remember, but my description of Eleanor, not his, is that she is I want to say an entity, a soul, from about the early to mid 1800s. And she has never let up on the idea that she didn't get to do her purpose of why she was here in the first place. Now, whether anyone realizes that or not, that's really an important thing, because most people have no idea what their purpose is. And through the ecosystem approach, it's one of the things that you can figure out.
She kind of creates some balance with Bashar, Abraham, and Seth.
Yes.
Because they're from the future.
Yes.
They're evolved entities. It's been a long time since, if ever, have they had a physical body? We should ask them.
That one I've never asked.
We're going to ask them in just a minute. We're going to channel them in just a minute. But what Eleanor brings a perspective, it's more historical. She understands humanity.
Yes, she does. And humanity. And I know that's kind of a, what is that called? A contradiction or whatever it's called. But the point that we're getting at is that she remembers it. They struggle to remember what it's like to be in human bodies. And yes,
in physical form, which is so much different. Yes,
it really is. And I want to explain this. I hope I'm doing this in a timely fashion. But one of the questions I asked last week, while Jason and I were channeling, was, do they understand, meaning Bashar, Abraham, and Seth, what it's like to be in a physical body? And they said, kinda. And I said, why kinda? And they said, because it's been so long. We were convinced because souls did not understand negative energy, or what we call dark energy sometimes. They didn't understand the importance of how they were duped, they were lied to, they were cheated into believing that they would be better off without a physical body. And I need to say this very clearly. Having a physical body and being here on Earth right now is so amazingly important, because That's where we have a push-pull action that happens, or what some people call a polarity response.
It's a way of learning in a physical form.
Exactly.
Which is why we come into a physical body in the first place.
So consider yourself lucky to have a physical body.
Well, and the other things that we're learning it's becoming so clear is that their understanding of negative energy was, in other words, we were channeling them, Daryl, Esther, and Jane Roberts.
That's right.
Esther Hicks and Daryl Anka. But they were channeling them. But at the same time, Bashar, Abraham, and Seth were channeling their channelers.
That is correct.
And their view of what life was like here on Earth came through their perspective.
Correct.
And when they said to us, we've been waiting for you, that's one of the reasons, because we have this perspective that is really unique, really uncommon.
Yes.
Because we see the dark energy, how it works. We've been studying it. We've kind of taken it for granted, because we've been looking at it, studying it, working with our clients with it, and it's a big deal. Now, again, what's in terms of what was happening?
Okay.
Abraham has this really male sense of humor.
Very much.
And he and I kind of connect, but we haven't done a lot of speaking. Bashar 3 likes to talk to Patricia. If he feels like an older guy that flirts with women,
yes,
which is okay. Seth is very, very she's and it's a she. We see Seth as female, but she's very, very practical and helpful.
That is
all
correct.
The time.
That is correct.
When we have practical questions, she's right there.
And she's actually quite quiet in its way, but then all of a sudden she'll come out with or come off with this really this is the way it is. This is the way of this or that. And it's like, oh my goodness, not expected, but very practical. And practicality a lot of it comes from evolution.
So we're going to do just a little bit of channeling. Just take a minute. And I want to start with Seth, because we have a little cheat sheet here. I did an AI deep dive and to find out what they have said and written about what it means to evolve.
Okay.
Because that's the topic of our show today. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to start with Seth, and some of the things that have been said
about Seth or
from Seth.
Yes.
She said, I've been sent here to help you in this regard, provide insights into the nature of reality and enable a greater comprehension of the adventure of life on Earth. Well, that sounds very poetic.
But it's also very practical.
I want to ask her if she felt that she was successful in that.
%50, sometimes 75%, because the negative energy blocked her as well as the others, blocked her from Jane actually hearing and understanding about negative energy.
So one of her other objectives was to help people understand and effectively use their inherent abilities. How did you feel about that?
That was the problem. Is what was going on in the world at the time was to figure out what would make you the most money. And she's shaking her head right now. That is not exactly what she meant. Practicality is about feeding yourself and such, feeding yourself and your family and even your community, that sort of thing. And that was it didn't come out all the way. Let me say it that way. In other words, the information didn't come through all the way.
So Abraham, I want to talk to Abraham.
Okay.
He said about getting into the vortex, that it impressed upon individuals that their sole purpose and activity should be to get into the vortex, rendering all other concerns like current life circumstances irrelevant in comparisons. And so how does he feel about that? Yes.
That was not exactly right, because when you don't have a physical body for centuries, and I realize that we're the ones that count centuries. Well, I'll just make sure I
when you're
that.
in energy form, it's not.
It is not the same. It is not the same. And you forget what it's like to have the need to actually feed yourself and go from place to place and make sure that the children are taken care of. So that part of it, there is some great, amazing information from Abraham, but when you don't live, or your being isn't in a physical body, there's a lot of things that you forget because you don't have polarity response to what's going on within you and even around you.
So one last one for Bashar.
Okay.
He said to teach an individual's experience of reality is a direct reflection of their internal state, particularly their beliefs and definitions. How does Bashar 3 feel about that now?
That is true, but without that physical body, there's a major point missed. In other words, I can have all the ideas in the world. I'm just giving an example, but how I'm going to carry them out, how I'm going to get them done, how I'm, one more time, going to get my family fed, that was not directly spoken about.
It encouraged a form of lala, I think, or lala, or delusional thinking.
That is well said.
So,
so Jason, let me ask you, tell me about the audience, how they, I
know that they want us to say this over and over again.
Okay.
But if you're listening right now, it means something.
Yeah.
There's at least some part of you that wants or craves your own personal evolution. And if you've been a loyal audience of any of Bashar, Abraham, or Seth, you probably feel mad, feel betrayed, even misled.
And by the way, that's understood, everyone.
But they were tricked by the dark as well.
Yes.
This is part of your journey, your path. Keep going. Don't feel dejected. Don't feel hopeless.
Yes.
You may be mad at us for telling you something you don't want to hear or making you uncomfortable.
Correct.
Of course, we're all human, and we're human.
Yes.
And we're able to, even though they're not, and we make mistakes, and we make mistakes and screw up, and that's part of the part of the human experience, is that Correct. When we make a mistake, we can feel that mistake.
Yes.
And compensate.
And also remove negative energies that keep you stuck there, and then you go nowhere.
Yes.
And so this is really, really, really important. Jason, what is the summary of this segment right now?
We all feel pain because what was promised by evolved entities wasn't delivered. There are many people who are listening now that wanted to believe and were disappointed when it didn't work, and others who just created an alternate reality. Dark energy successfully was able to block Bashar, Abraham, and Seth and prevent them from seeing the reality of the situation. No one's to blame, only the dark energy. Don't give up. Now is the time here on earth to have real evolution. Yes. When Abraham said, "We've been waiting for you," it was because they could see and understand this dark energy and to help you overcome it so you can have your own personal evolution.
In the next segment, we're going to talk about new perspectives on personal evolution and how it is in contrast with accomplishment, and why it feels empty and shallow when you reach your goals. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to talk about a new perspective on personal evolution and how it is in contrast with accomplishment and why it feels empty and shallow when you reach your goals. That's so different from what we've been taught.
Yes, it really is.
So, Jason, give us a definition of evolution and why it doesn't help.
Well, the evolution definitions that we've gotten from Bashar Abraham and Seth, I have them pulled up here. They're like a word salad, and they don't really mean anything to people here on the ground that are doing everyday life.
Okay.
And unfortunately, it makes sense to them. It makes sense in certain context. They define those words in other contexts, but they still don't make any sense.
Okay.
And it's because our experience and what they're talking about don't line up.
Well, when you don't live in a human body, and you're
exactly.
That human body makes so much of a difference.
The way we currently train people and do self-help is unnatural. It depletes humans of their life force. And we're going to continue to talk about this, but
meaning their ability to regenerate.
Their ability to regenerate. We haven't talked about that yet.
Oh, okay.
But it's depleting, and we don't even know it. Okay. We're being depleted all the time by the methods that we use to improve ourselves. And the problem is when we listen to stuff from Abraham, Seth, and Bashar, we apply programming techniques, which depletes us, which is so contrary to what is positive for human beings.
I see. The way we're all trained. I need to just reiterate that. I want everyone, if you have an opportunity this week, think about how you were trained to do this, that, or the other. And does it really feel natural to you?
It's like focused, create a goal,
yes.
Use self-discipline,
Yeah.
I mean, do you see any animals in the field that self-discipline,
Not like that. No. Yes. No, the only discipline I see is when a mother is teaching a baby, so to speak. Don't go there, go here. In other words, stay with the herd, that kind of thing.
But that's just learning. Yes, it's not based. It's not. They're not in a classroom.
No, not
So,
well, okay, Jason. Is there a definition of evolved humans?
So I want to propose a definition, okay?
Okay.
And we're going to start doing this because it's part of what's happening with the Alliance.
Okay.
Restoring humans to an increasingly more natural state that easily uses the power of nature and connection to your essence, your soul, to constantly regenerate and restore itself. Now, I've been... we have an interest in this. We have a garden out back, and we have space now for, and then we want to develop. We've got about an acre and a half. We want to develop it, and more trees, more fruit trees, that sort of thing.
Right.
And we're learning about how soil has been depleted by traditional farming methods.
That's correct.
Which to me is roughly analogous to traditional self-help methods. It doesn't encourage people to evolve or regenerate. It depletes them. And that's why if you go to a positive, a seminar that says, we're going to help you do X, Y, Z, and you get all pumped up.
Meaning like positive thinking, that kind of thing.
Yes. You get all pumped up, and then slowly but surely it wears off the farther away you get from that seminar.
Okay.
That's not regeneration. That's where you get a big boost of something, and we see what it is, okay?
Yeah.
And it's not positive. And then what's happening with people is they boost themselves up, and then as they try to implement these ideas, they start to deplete themselves.
Correct.
And we've been seeing this for years and years now.
Yes.
That's why we created the ecosystem approach, because it's unnatural. That's why we named it the ecosystem approach, is because if you treated a human being like an ecosystem, this is what we're learning about soil, okay? And I'm jumping around here, but I think it's really important. The way we've been doing farming, and the reason our food tastes so bad, and the health, and especially in this country, the United States, is so poor, is that we're eating food that has no nutrients.
Wait a minute, let's back up. Poor in health.
Yes.
We saw something a few weeks ago about how the United States has the poorest health of any nation in the world. Why? And that was the question. We both went, why? And then the understanding of when you deplete the soil that your food is grown in, and the animals are walking on, and they're depleting themselves as well. And I don't mean they're consciously doing it. It's because of farming. We'll just say it that way. The bottom line is something's wrong.
Well, they're not. So we learn, and there's a lot of the other countries around the world are way ahead of us at this, but they're building up their soil, and they're seeing that soil naturally, this is the key word, naturally has the ability to regenerate itself.
That's correct.
And as you start to regenerate the soil, it holds more moisture. It could solve climate change.
Well, and it also solved the water problem.
Drought, where we are, the drought is a big deal.
Yeah.
And you would have more rich food, and the nutrients would be back. There'd be a domino effect in the positive direction.
Correct.
So what we're saying is that a definition of evolved human beings is the ability to regenerate yourself. And we're going to talk about this in the next segment. It's a big deal.
Even more, yes.
We don't see regeneration happening in this world at all.
Well, okay, Jason,
for human beings.
Jason, we haven't exactly brought it up yet, but we're going to bring it up right now. Give us an example of how we can regenerate.
Well, as we regenerate,
we start with removing negative energy from yourself. So there's not layers and layers of toxic. I'm talking about not only food, but thinking and negative energies laying on top of you that's keeping you yourself from actually understanding what you need today.
We see this in life because the focus is on youth. And the reason is because people deplete themselves so quickly. 40s and 50s, they're not the same as they used to be.
No, they're not.
A lot of people in their 40s and 50s are tired, and they're getting out of shape, and they're sickly, and they're having disease problems, all those things.
Yes.
So what we do, and what the ecosystem approach does, is what we've been doing all along with the ecosystem approach, is helping people restore themselves. And it's a slow process. It's like regenerating the soil. It doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
It takes a while.
It can be done.
It can be done.
We definitely are proof of that, and more than a few others that we've been working with for quite some time. So, Jason, what happens when you do have accomplishment?
The way we are trained to have accomplishment, or to push ourselves, drive ourselves today, is that these accomplishments, when we get them, they lack real satisfaction, and they can be devoid of deep meaning.
Yes.
People push themselves all their life to achieve an objective, and then they get there and say, is that all there is? There was a song.
I did this. Yeah. Yes, there was. Yeah. But I did this for what? That sort of
doesn't feel as good as I thought it would feel.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's because of how we're doing it. We're depleting ourselves as human beings, just like we're depleting the soil.
Well, yes. And so when ego chooses your goals,
yes,
that's a really big thing, because our egos really aren't our energies.
It doesn't know what our purpose is. Our essence knows what our purpose is.
It sure
and the
does.
ecosystem approach helps you bring the essence to the forefront.
Exactly. So with that said, Jason, what is the summary of this segment?
Current definition and practices of self-help are unnatural and deplete people, similar traditional farming methods that deplete soil.
Correct.
Current definitions of human evolution tends to be a bunch of words that cannot be applied or implemented.
Yeah.
Bashar, Abraham, and Seth all see that we've developed by acknowledging see what we've developed by acknowledging the presence of dark energy is a way to regenerate human beings that lends itself to the best definition of evolution.
Correct.
The ecosystem approach teaches people how to regenerate themselves by removing the toxics in their personal ecosystem.
Yes.
And then using the natural power of their essence to constantly regenerate themselves.
Well, to me, yeah. Sorry. All right. So in the next segment, we're going to talk about the possibilities for the Alliance and what we're talking about for the future as we receive more and more information from the Alliance and the collaboration we've created. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to talk about the possibilities for the Alliance and what we're talking about for the future as we receive more and more information from the Alliance and the collaboration we've created. These are the most exciting ideas we've ever had on this show. So stick with us, everyone. This is amazing. Here's the first thing. The Alliance, what are we going to work on, Jason?
So this is what we have to work on first, okay? Is an understanding of dark or negative energy and how it blocks individual evolution and the evolution of Earth.
Okay.
It keeps humanity from working together.
Oh.
It's connected to all mental and physical illness. If you look around,
that's a statement.
That's a statement. If you look around at all the problems in the world, there is negative dark energy connected to it.
Yes.
And so it's so huge. It's so big. It's so comprehensive in terms of what's wrong with what's happening in the world. It's hard to put it into words.
Yes.
But everything that Bashar, Abraham, and Seth has said that would work if it were not for dark energy. And this is not dark energy that's just going to go easily or...
Oh, well, I'll just go over here. Don't worry about me. That kind of thing.
That's the Jewish mother. No, that's something else. No, what we're talking about is that, and this is some of the basics about dark energy, and that's why people miss it all the time.
Okay,
First of all, it doesn't leave easily. Okay. It has a motive. And that motive is always covert, invisible, and never shows itself. So you never have dark energy in your life that says, "Here I am." And here's how to get rid of me.
And it doesn't come with a calling card.
It does. It does not.
Boy, am I telling my age.
It's always on both sides of an issue, which is so contrary to what we've been taught.
That is right.
We believe that if there's two sides, one side is bad and one side is good.
Sure.
Dark energy laughs at that. They say, "Oh, that's great. That's great for us because we're going to get on both sides and make both people wrong and both people right, and we just have fun to watch them go at it
with each other." Well, you know what? I see it. It does seek to interfere with a goal or what somebody
moving
can do.
Forward. Yes,
exactly, and something that's positive, especially.
There would be all sorts of movements and people coming together and making things happen if it were not for all the negative energy that's out there. Now, people can say, okay, well, I know about this. People are coming together, but it's not at the level that you would think would happen for the problem that's being resolved.
Okay.
Whether it's cleaning up the ocean, whether it's cleaning up the earth, whether it's having different farming practices.
Correct.
All these things that are kind of beneficial for everyone. You would think everybody would get on board, and it doesn't happen. And this is one of the reasons.
Okay.
So negative energy is one of the big ones. We can't slip over that.
Okay.
We're gonna keep working on that and talk about how good ways we can move that faster.
Okay. So what is another area for the Alliance to focus on?
We have already come up with some radical approaches to astrology, and what I call astrological norms and approaches.
Okay.
Astrology is becoming more and more popular these days.
That is correct.
More and more following, but it's never been used in practical and really helpful ways.
Okay.
And I see that can change. We want to add some things to it so that it can say, oh my gosh, I can do this, this, and this, and this, and I've got this knowledge already. Oh my gosh, it's going to be really, really exciting.
Hey, excuse me, that was my word. It is really exciting, everyone.
It can be used for healing, overcoming difficult relationships.
Yes.
All sorts of possibilities that we never considered before.
I really like the part about it can be used for healing, because everywhere I look, I see that either someone or something needs to be healed. And that's huge.
Yes. That is true.
Okay. So, the
last one. Yes.
So, Jason, a new definition for evolved humans. I mean, humans, tell us more about that.
We don't have good definition. We think accomplishment, we confuse accomplishment with evolution, and it's not. We see people that have made a lot of money, have accomplished a lot of technological successes.
Right, and this is the time of technology.
And we're going to stand up and say a lot of those people are not evolved.
At all.
And just because they have accomplishment or success in one area, it doesn't mean evolution. And sometimes they can be mutually exclusive, not always. But so we're proposing, and we see this, and we're working with the Alliance. And again, just to review, the Alliance is Bashar, Abraham, and Seth coming together to work together, and Eleanor, and us. Mm-hmm. And we're going to include you very shortly. And if this is making you as exciting as it's making me, go to our website right now, theecosystemapproach.org, sign up for a free section.
Yes.
Go to our YouTube channel, The Ecosystem Approach with Jason and Patricia Rohn, and subscribe to our channel. You want to be part of this as it's going forward.
Well, but
I got to tell them
tell them.
Okay,
go for it.
This is about creating a solar panel, and this is a metaphor. Okay, this is not. We're not going to.
This is so exciting.
A solar panel for human beings. So think of it this way.
What does that mean?
Think of that when you're born, you have a battery.
Okay.
And it's like most batteries, it can be recharged over and over and over again.
Right. But
what we see, and this is what most people miss, and almost everybody miss, they're not being recharged.
No.
Over as you grow older, as you 20s, 30s, 40s, that battery's starting to get depleted. People are dying in their 60s. Our possibilities for life is increasing, but more and more people, as we get older, age with physical and emotional and mental handicaps.
That is correct.
That keep them from having any sort of life or life force. We saw that with my mom, who had dementia before she died. We took care of her for 10 years. It was a big deal.
Yes.
What if you had a way to regenerate your cells? So instead of depleting yourself,
correct,
you could constantly be recharging that battery.
Well, now, think about that possibility.
I mean, we do it with laptops, we do it with electric cars, we do it with all sorts of things.
And by the way, those things are great.
But we don't do it with human beings.
And No, that's just not right.
We don't even think of it that way. But a lot of people think, well, I eat healthy, I exercise.
Right.
That does not restore that battery.
It doesn't ensure that you're going to have a long life.
What it does, it slows down the depletion a little bit,
right?
But not to where it needs to be at all.
And I'm going to take a moment and say, anyone who's listened to our show before has heard that I had to have a heart valve replacement. And by the way, that life on that heart valve replacement is up. And
it was about 10 years, 10, 11 years.
A little bit more than that, but yes. And now it's up. Well, I just found out that
you went to the cardiologist.
I did.
They did a long-term test.
And my heart, as the doctor said, I would have thought you had it put in yesterday at the condition in which this valve is in and that your heart is in. How am I so different than everyone else? And here's the answer. I use the ecosystem approach to not only get rid of negative energy around my heart and in my heart, but also regenerate this physical body that I live in.
Now, the truth is, and we see this.
And I know I'm not perfect, everyone.
Our batteries,
yes.
our personal batteries, Jason and Patricia, have been depleted for years and years and years before we started doing this.
That is correct.
So we still have a long way to go to build that battery up.
Yes.
But we are, and we're getting older, but I feel better today than I did when I started 25 years ago.
That is correct.
And, that's how it should be.
Exactly.
That's how life was designed to be.
Right.
So, if you're interested in this, if this makes sense to you, if this says, oh yeah, I don't know what he's talking about, but I want a solar panel for me.
Exactly.
Make sure you go to our YouTube channel, The Ecosystem Approach with Jason and Patricia Rohn, and subscribe. Make sure that you're getting these shows every couple of weeks.
Just by the way, tell a friend, have them subscribe as well.
They need a solar panel too.
Yes, exactly.
And go to our website, theecosystemapproach.org, and sign up for our free section.
So, Jason, with that said, what is the summary of this segment?
The exciting possibilities for the Alliance are coming forward. We will help people remove dark energy for themselves and expose how dark energy works so it can no longer work in the shadows or behind the scenes. This could create a radical shift in everything here on Earth.
Yes.
Astrology can become truly useful instead of being a daily entertainment from horoscopes.
Yes.
Okay. The biggest result can be from showing humanity how to regenerate their life force. It's like giving everyone a solar panel that will constantly regenerate their life force in ways that have never happened before. The Alliance feels that for the first time, and they're telling us this, and it's exhausting because we're exhausted by getting all this information, that we can truly achieve their mission to help the Earth evolve. It's all based on using the ecosystem approach as it was designed.
In the next segment, we're going to talk about how clearing is our secret weapon for actually changing, and for actual change, and we'll actually show you how to do some clearings. Be sure to listen to this part. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to talk about how clearing is our secret weapon for change and actually show you how to do some clearings. This is so important, and please don't skip over this part. Not for me, but for you. Jason, I see that there are people who take the clearings for granted.
And I see that too. And we do this at the end. It's not because it's the least important. It's probably the most important.
Absolutely.
And you have a really good story that illustrates that. And why don't you tell that really quickly?
I was working with a couple last week, and this couple
You've been working with for a while.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. And the gentleman's wife said to me, I said, okay, what's going on with you? And she said, well, I'm not sure I really want to, talk about it. And I said, come on, everything's good here. And she said, well, I've been taking this tarot class, and I'm not sure how you feel about it. I said, bring it on. I love that part. And we could talk about tarot another time, but I'm talking about
people
the audience.
Think that we're jealous about other modalities
And I'm
like
not
that.
at all, not in the least. Anyway, so I said, why are you upset? And she said, well, the teacher came in to the class and was very, I could tell something was wrong. So I asked her, what's wrong? And she said, oh, I just did a reading about what's going on in the world today, and what, all this is bad and that is bad and all these things. And she said, and so I'm really upset about all of it, because I mean, how can you change what the tarot says? And I said, excuse me, you have something, what we do and what we've been doing together to change energy for you and your family personally. We can also change that energy that the tarot card says this is going to happen or that is going to happen. And she went, what? I said, with the ecosystem approach, we can change the energy of anything.
So the point is that we've been clearing all along. You've been clearing with this couple all along.
Exactly.
They've been doing it, but she didn't put it together that it could.
There was a connection.
There was a connection between changing what the tarot card said,
yes,
and changing the energy.
And that you can actually do it.
Exactly. And that's what we're
doing. And that
doing.
it's practical.
It is.
So
that's why this is so important. Now I'm going to teach you how to do clearing really quickly.
Okay.
So you can take any, it's not a prayer. It's not, you're not asking for
permission,
any of that. You could be standing, sitting, laying down, walking, correct, doing something else. We often do it when we're doing other things.
Absolutely.
Taking a shower, doing dishes, cooking. Yeah. We have a statement, and the verb is usually to eliminate. And when we say to eliminate, use your imagination, your mind's eye, and gather up the negative energy, whether it's veils and illusions, barriers, or negative emotions. Yes. Gather those all up and blow them into the processor. And that's going to put a picture of the processor up now. Yes. It goes in the top, it gets processed, it comes out, and it comes out neutral. That is such a powerful process.
And it's so powerful, not only for you that's doing it, but it's powerful for everything around you.
You're literally clearing your environment of negative energy. So when you're doing it for yourself, you're also doing it for the environment.
Correct.
Yeah, people take it for granted because it's so simple. It just seems too simple.
Yes.
Maybe we should ask people to stand on their head when they do something. But it's really simple.
Leave it to him to say something like that. All right. So, Jason, should we get started?
Let's do.
All right, here we go.
I direct all my resources in all dimensions to eliminate the barriers to my excitement, so I can see clearly that this is the information and the results that people have been hoping for and wishing for forever. Here it is, this show. Listen to it again. Take a breath. Blow it into the processor.
I'm going to shorten it up just a little bit, but follow along. And to eliminate the barriers so I can see the gravity of what is being discussed and how that could affect my life in ways that may be revolutionary for me in huge ways. Nice and easy. Clear those barriers, pick them up, and throw them into that processor. Remember, what you throw into the processor gets changed from what it is to neutral. Oh my gosh, Jason?
And to eliminate any anger or resentment I have toward Bashar, Abraham, or Seth, because it seems like they're changing their message or with the channelers of those entities because of their limitations, or with Jason or Patricia for bringing this to light, when the truth is it's an evolution of thought. Yes. And this is the dark at work. Yes. Doing blaming other things for what it's doing.
Exactly.
Take a breath.
anger and resentment, and throw it away. And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see how dark and negative energy has touched all areas of my life and will be in many parts of my life going forward. So understanding what it's like and how to remove it is crucial, is critical, and can be the most helpful in my life starting right now. Take a breath and throw it away. Jason?
And to eliminate the barrier so I can see that there's a new beginning for my life as I continue to listen and connect with the Alliance and subscribe and follow the ecosystem approach. And we're going to show you how to do that in just a minute. Take a breath.
Right now, take a breath. Now, we're going to activate life force. Life force is the most powerful energy that anyone on earth has access to, and actually in other places as well. You've never heard me say that before, but know that life force is unbelievable. Go with me, follow along. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to activate life force so I can use life force energy for clarity, awareness, objectivity, creativity, happiness, hope, love, and the ability to see, know, and understand that the ecosystem approach was created for not only my best interest, but for the Earth's best interest starting right now. Pull it in through the top of your head. Let it go all the way to the tips of your toes. Stop it right there. Ask it to turn around right now and bring it back up and blow out any negative energies that are left over right now.
If you've got a buzz going on right now, if an energy buzz going on right now, this is what you do. Go to our website, theecosystemapproach.org, O-R-G, and sign up for our free section.
Okay.
Go to our YouTube channel, Jason and Patricia Rohn, The Ecosystem Approach. Subscribe to our channel. Oh my gosh, we have content that's not available elsewhere on that channel. You've got to do that. You'll see the new stuff coming out. It'll be a big deal.
Yes.
And this is just going to get bigger and bigger
and bigger.
Decide to be a part of it. Have your friends subscribe and sign up also.
Absolutely. And remember, the more clearing that you do, the more removing of negative energy that you do, it makes a difference in your life.
It's cumulative.
It truly is. And it is one of the most awesome things that anyone and everyone can do. So please stay with us, join us in everything that we do. We will connect.
On Mondays. We connect on Mondays. 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern time.
Thank you. And this is Transformation Talk Radio, and you're listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia.
Living like an ecosystem is the key to a better life for you.
Stay with us, everyone. See you soon.
Thank you for listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia. I'm Patricia. Tune in every week as we discuss practical ways to apply the ecosystem approach and develop your potential to live your life on your terms. For more information, visit our website at theecosystemapproach.org.